As per the changes in the market and AECO industry, the CAD is not the effective software for dealing with the design and overall development of the construction. As the owner of the building or real estate agent, do we really need to install software for the sake of the visualization of the data? There are multiple stakeholders uses various softwares to create their desired design for the building. These softwares are really allow us to visualize the design, make markups and comments to the changes a reviewer wants to make to the communication with the different stakeholders. For any creation, recreation and modification in the overall 3D model, there is a requirement of and here the another question arises is if every designer uses different software for the design development, how it is associated with the overall concept of the building information modeling. Have you ever heard about the Autodesk Revit? Basically, it allows us to create 3D models of the architect, structural or MEP field for better visualization, communication and data transfer of the AECO industry. Earlier, Autodesk AutoCAD was Promient Software for the dealing with these details. It is a CAD software, computer aided design. As per the changes in the market and AECO industry, the CAD is not the effective software for dealing with the design and overall development of the construction. In the market, there are multiple software as per detailing requires. For instance, Tekla structures. Moreover, due to better visualization and with the less efforts, Tekla structures create amazing structural detailings in effective way. Similarly, some architects prefer ArchiCAD and other stakeholders uses software based on their requirements. But how these softwares are associated with the BIM process? And as the owner of the building or real estate agent, do we really need to install software for the sake of the visualization of the data and the client communication? Even for the coordination with the designer, like mechanical engineer or the fire safety engineer, do we really need to purchase the license of the software? Let's just find it out. Let's deep dive into the concept of the authoring and non-authoring tools of the BIM. As we discussed earlier, there are multiple stakeholders uses various softwares to create their desired design for the building. Architect may choose ArchiCAD, structural engineer chooses the Tekla structure, or MEP expert goes for the Autodesk Revit. These people who creates, modify their design and makes the best outcome from the skills they have using these softwares. This software known as the authoring tool of the BIM. BIM authoring tools are nothing but the software which really allow us to modify the design from the conceptual stage of the construction to the final handover stage. This software have the ability to create, modify and recreate the design as per the requirement of the designer. Thus it requires the valid license, and based upon the license, the charges they need to pay on the annual basis. You as a designer use a product of the companies like Autodesk, Trimble, Microsoft, Oracle, Bexel and many more. Based on the product you are using for your design will develop smoothly and accurately. These companies will provide you the best capacity tools they have for your easiness of the development of the design. But as a owner or as a real estate agent or as a general contractor, you are not going to develop anything. You are just going to visualize the overall design concept based upon the changes you want to make to the construction, client coordination, and the changes you want to make to the design as per the requirement of the criteria. Actually, there is no need to deal with the license softwares. Due to this reason, concept of non-authoring tools developed. Here where people who are not directly involved in the design process of the AECO industry, they really do not need to buy the license of it. These softwares are really allow us to visualize the design, make markups and comments to the changes a reviewer wants to make to the communication with the different stakeholders. The example of the non-authoring tools are Trimble Connect, Autodesk Visualization, Autodesk Navisworks Freedom, and there are a lot more. Here the basic funda is for any creation, recreation and modification in the overall 3D model, there is a requirement of authoring tools, and for the review, visualization and communication, there is a requirement of the non-authoring tools. Please note here, BIM authoring tools are not only meant for the BIM designers. It's just an example. Suppose if I give you an example for the contractor, he or she can use Excel Manager Primavera or MS Project for their planning, resource allocation and other work. But other stakeholder may not interfere the process of the contractor. So for them, non-authoring tools will be the auto-generated reports from the V group or data visualization software like the Power BI. These authoring and non-authoring tools are associated with the BIM process to develop error-free, accurate and intelligent 3D model for the betterment of the AECO industry. Here the another question arises is, if every designer uses different software for the design development, how it is associated with the overall concept of the building information modeling? Now, the concept of the interoperability takes place. Interoperability says no matter which software you use to build your solid design, if software has a capability to convert the design into the IFC or industrial foundational class file, the design may review and visualized by all the related stakeholders of the project. This is not limited to the software you use, but it is the power of the BIM capabilities for easiness in the communication, collaboration and information storage with the safety and security of the data. Once the interoperability plays into the project, the BIM concept CDE needs to build for data development and stakeholders involvement. These terms will not be effective and associated with the BIM if you are just using authoring tools for overall communication and involvement of various stakeholders into your project. BIM has provided solutions way far better for the easiness of the AECO industry and their overall concept. Subscribe to the FDM Global for up-to-date knowledge of the AECO industry and new technology related to field. We as a FDM community has developed BIM service and their educational service here on the YouTube. If you want to take a look on our service, visit our website today. Here's the link in the description box. See you on the next video. Signing off.